Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, let's talk about when leaders fail. Check it out. 1 Samuel 15. The Lord said to Samuel, who was a prophet at the time, I'm sorry that I ever made Saul king, for he has not been loyal to me and has refused to obey my command. King Saul was the first king. The Israelites just demanded a king, so God gave him a king. And the Lord rejected Saul. Saul was told to do some things in battle, including eliminate all the people and just different things. And he doesn't completely follow God's order. Saul didn't say that people could do whatever they wanted. He just overlooked that people were doing things against the Lord's will. And I mean, just remember, religious observance without obedience is empty before God. Saul's excuse for doing what he did was that he feared the people, which was a lie. Saul was prideful and he didn't take responsibility for not doing what God told him to do. And so Paul takes his failure and puts pride into it. God knows it, and God refuses him and rejects him as a leader. But let's take a look at Psalm 51, King David. Psalm 51:16 says, you do not desire a sacrifice. This is post David failing. And so he had an issue, and God said, 16 says, you do not desire a sacrifice, or I would offer one. This is David talking. You do not want a burnt offering. The sacrifice you desire is a broken spirit. You will not reject a broken and repentant heart, O God. So you've got King Saul with this pride when he failed, and then you've got King David who felt guilt and shame. One should feel when they sin, and Saul's heart was dead to it. So look, as we build people and leaders, it is critical that we call sin and bad habits to light in them and in each other. Not necessarily a punitive way, but in a truthful and loving way. And it is the heart of our response that will dictate our heart for God. God knows when you're lying, and I want to encourage you to open up to that and just experience what God has for you in that moment of repentance. Let me tell you what 1 Timothy says here. 1 Timothy 3 talks about elders in the church. And I think this is a great example, not necessarily that we are elders, but it's a great example of what a leader should look like. It says, if someone aspires to be an elder, he deserves an honorable position. So an elder must be a man whose life is above reproach. He must be faithful to his wife, and he must exercise self-control, live wisely, and have a good reputation. He must enjoy having guests in his home, which is what we do, and he must be able to teach. He must not be a heavy drinker or be violent. He must be gentle, not quarrelsome, and not love money. He must manage his own family well, not perfectly, well, and have children who respect and obey him. For if a man cannot manage his own household, how can he take care of God's church? An elder must not be a new believer, because he might become proud, and the devil would cause him to fall, which is what got King Saul. Also, the people outside the church must speak well of him, so that he will not be disgraced and fall into the devil's trap. So I want to encourage y'all today, if you are building people and you are let's say I'm an 8, I may be able to build people up to a 7. So I'm always trying to progress too, to maybe be a 9. And so I want to bring people up to where I'm at. But the other part about being a leader is it's just more about your the state of your heart than it will ever be about your leadership skills. It is about the heart. It is about getting in the Word every day, who you are, your communication with God, and letting God build you. Because remember, God doesn't always qualify. He doesn't always call the qualified to lead. All right, let me re-say that. He doesn't always call the qualified to lead, but he does qualify the called to lead. Go be called today and trust God for the rest. Love y'all.